Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. This is a special mini edition of the Intimacy Advantage TV show. I'm sorry, guys. I was listening to music in the background. I have it really low so it won't interrupt the feed. And Facebook, LinkedIn, and all the places won't flag us for copyright issues because I don't feel like dealing with that nonsense. So, welcome on this beautiful afternoon. I promise that this will be a quick hitter, if you will, and you will not be disappointed for showing up for it. So for those of you who have never participated in the Intimacy Advantage TV show, it's something where I go live every single Thursday, usually around noon 30, inside the Certified Selfish Facebook group. I will be sure to make sure that you have a link to that if you're not already in it. So usually I only broadcast inside the group on Thursdays. But today, because of the nature of this topic, because of the timing, because of the pulse and the energy that I'm getting from across the world right now, with everyone just being zoomed out, burnt out, tired, over it, all the things, and still in this space of ambiguity and uncertainty because of COVID-19 and just everything that 2020 has provided all of us. Along with the blessings and the lessons that have come, there's been a lot of stress over what's next? What do we want to do, right? So I decided to syndicate this on my personal profile and other places as well, and we'll upload it and share it, but I will still keep it brief because it's really important that you guys get the information. So are you ready for this? So welcome. Let me make sure that I have comments on, which I know is a little bit different when you're inside the live. So if I can't see you here, no, it is technology. It is not my heart. I can see that you're coming in. I welcome you. I thank you. Please join, share this because it is public if you are seeing this on a public platform versus inside the group, to make sure you have it. So today I really wanted to talk about, really briefly, the permission to pivot into the new you. You know, I know a lot of you are like, I don't need permission, Naketa. I do what I want for myself whenever I need it. But I want you to give yourself that permission. You're not really receiving it from me. You're receiving it from yourself if you allow it into your current operating system, right? Like wherever you are in the world right now is crucially important because we are changing and we are evolving. One of my favorite quotes from the Greek philosopher, I think his name is Heraclitus, something like that, which change is the only constant that we can rely on, which is inevitable truth. The one thing that you can count on in your life, people, places, and things, because all of us who live and breathe will eventually no longer be in this particular realm of the world. We will no longer walk on this earth at some point. But you can always count on change, including yourself. So one of the ways that you kind of invite this permission and give it to yourself is seeing yourself outside of where you are now. So if 2020 was really challenging for you and really difficult and really stressful in one area of your life, and maybe the other area, like maybe you were having a really hard time personally, but business was booming, things were going well, opportunities were flowing in, you know, partnerships were showing up, all kinds of things were happening, or vice versa. Business was a little slow, your career was a little bit challenged because of the ebb and flow of the market and the industries that are attached that impact what it is and how you show up in the world. But for the most part, everyone was healthy, everyone was well. You know, if anyone did get COVID in your family, they all rebounded from it. Seemingly, like you could have this kind of juxtaposition happening in your life where you feel like you don't even have the right to be in any space of not feeling grateful, right? And I just want to point out the lie that is happening for so many people. I'm constantly in conversations with people, like we've all been doing this virtual tea, virtual coffee thing for 2020, but I've had my company for almost 10 years, and virtual teas in one form or another back in the day when everyone was on Skype has always been a part of how I connected with people. Usually not the first meeting pre-COVID, but now it is the first, second, and third. And the pattern that is emerging for everyone, and this is not out of judgment, this is pure observation. The pattern that is coming up from everyone across like the board of different relationships that I have is people are feeling like they don't have the right to complain because other people have it worse. That is a story. Yes, you can be and should be, for vibrational purposes, grateful for what you acknowledge you do have. Grateful for breath in your body, mobility of your limbs, cognition of your mind, that you are as healthy as you are to this point. If you have any family or friends that extend from you, that they are also as healthy as they are to this point, that you've had the years and the time with them to the point that you had it. Of course, you should be grateful. You should not hide behind that gratitude and use gratitude as a cover for why it's not okay to still want more. You can be grateful and want more. It's an and, not an or. It doesn't make you look like someone who, is greedy, unless in fact you are being greedy. Like, that's a different situation. If you want more of something that is now making someone else starve because of your more, that is a very different situation. And know my heart, know my intentions. I'm clearly not talking about that part of characteristic that any particular person, hopefully no one who's even listening to this would have that characteristic of being greedy, that you would have that. You are grateful for what you have. You're acknowledging some of the gaps or flaws or other areas in whatever part or parts of your life that exists, and parentheses, and you want more. That is okay. So I wanted to kind of, give that to you. If you haven't heard it at all today, even if you heard it yesterday, just release yourself from any of those tethers that you have in that moment of feeling like you can't possibly, because so many other people around you are sicker or worse or don't have as much. You were not created to be a follower. You were not designed to have to wait for everyone else in the world to catch up to where you have been blessed to at that point to receive your awareness, your mobility in a particular area of business or life or love or, producing children or, honoring your nurturing spirit with loving on animals and all those things. That is not your business. My word for the entire year, my phrase was #mind my business. Because it was super important for me to get some focus on me. As I teach it to the world, I'm constantly helping people become more intentionally selfish. I know I'm really petite, so you can't see, but I'm wearing a shirt that literally says Certified Selfish. The group that I'm directing you into, for those of you where it makes sense for you to come in, is called Certified Selfish. The book that I wrote and released in April, that is available everywhere, small plug, is called Selfish: Permission to Pause, Live, and Laugh Your Way to Joy. It is important to be intentionally selfish, because being selfish is in fact a personal, intimate gift to yourself so you can create the joy. Without the gift of selfishness in the dose that makes sense for your life and your day, you don't have the container of space that you need to do the personal transformation work, to heal the trauma, to deal with all of the challenges that were broken and weighed down, those weighted emotions on that inner child, to let go of the toxic people, to really have that space. You don't have the space to do it. And there's a lot more layers to that, but I wanted to keep this mini. We talk about that stuff all the time in the Certified Selfish group. And we have something special coming up next Thursday that I want to invite you to. But before, which is also free, but before I do that, I want to make sure that I give you these points for how you can literally give your own self permission to pivot into the new you. So of course we want to imagine. We hear that term all the time, like reimagine, envision who it is you want to become. Acknowledge who and what it is you really want to have, right? Like see her, see him. Look at you 2 years from now or 5 years now, as much as you can. And I know sometimes it's really difficult when you're feeling really exhausted and weighted. You're like, woman, I can barely open my eyes. It's all right. Don't open your eyes. Open your mind. Open your spirit to who you are becoming. And then take one, or who you want to become really, and take one habit, just one thing. If that means you really want to wake up 15 minutes earlier because you would feel so much better if you could just get into like a power up routine to have some energy, and you know it's important for you to have that 15 minutes to write and brain dump for a little bit, or to do your kettlebells for 20 minutes a day, whatever it is, like just one thing though, because we get into our doer and our perfectionism self, like all that, and it becomes a tether that strains us and suffocates us. So I'm giving you permission to not do that. Pick the one thing, and there might be 20 things you need to do, but stacking habits is where we're going. Pick the one habit and commit to it for 100 days and give it a a no matter what tenacity. Like you're saving a life, your life. No matter what, do that one thing for 100 days every day. I don't care if you're tired, you're sick, you're bent over the toilet, thrown up every day. Still make room for some level of that one habit every day for 100 days consistently. And there's a bunch of science that I could get into why 100 days versus 21 versus 66 and all the other things that are supported and working. But there is no contest with 100 days of a habit being ingrained and wired together in your brain. So do that. So see yourself, do the one thing for 100 days, and then constantly ask yourself if whatever the work is, whatever the trouble is around this one thing that you're doing, when you're frustrated, when you're tired, we don't feel like it, when we get in our feelings, ask yourself if the benefit is worth it. So remind yourself of where it is you're going. Is it really worth it for me to do this one thing? Is it really going to make a difference? Remember, you chose that one thing for a reason, to become that person, to evolve into that part of the change that feels good, that serves you, that lights you up. Whatever that looks like. And it may not have anything to do with money or business. It may have everything to do with the intimacy of your healthy relationships, platonic and lovers, right? And when I say lovers, I'm talking about the one person, right? But make sure that you're really connected to that and have a circle of people who support you in being able to see your future. Like they can see that future with you, but they're not persecuting you and judging you for not already being that person. They're not trying to belittle your process and some of the ebbs and flows of the flaws and failures that will come with that change. So the gift that I want to give you in this moment before we go, sorry, I got to pop up, is literally GIFT. If you know me, you know I love acronyms. Love acronyms. I have acronyms for everything. So GIFT is an acronym, GIFT. It is always giving yourself gratitude, right? Being grateful, like raise your vibration, appreciate what you already have. So you send a signal to the universe that you can manage more. Absolutely. Gratitude, hands down, completely a part of your gift, your process. Just don't hide behind it. Don't tolerate it and become complacent in your gift, right? Like, oh, I'm so grateful. So this is bad for me to want more. Or who do I think I am? I am grateful and I want more. And one of the things I'm going to show up to show that I deserve more, that I can have more, is the show that I'm willing to put in the work for it. Whatever that one habit is for 100 days at least, right? And then we stack on another habit. We're now doing 2 habits for 100 days and so on and so forth, right? Because eventually it doesn't even become work for the first one that we ingrained, and we can focus on the second and ingrain. And now before we know it, we have 5 habits, at least 4 within a year or close to 4 that are almost automatic, if not already automatic by the end of the year. How amazing would it be to imagine, because that's the I in gift, gratitude, and imagine. Imagine what a year, the end of 2021 looks like for you. Imagine what that looks like for you. If you have 4 habits, new habits that are automatically set, you don't even have to think about it. It's no longer work, that you are now doing towards that person that you are becoming. What does life look like when you are her or him? What does that look like? And then forgive yourself. That is the F. Forgive yourself for any of the failures that are happening along the way. Because you are going to have days. It's life. It's going to be things that are amazing, awesome days. Birthday party planning for your kids, like all kinds of great things. And you're like, oh, I forgot my 7 a.m., whatever. Or my 9 p.m., whatever it was that you were trying to do for that habit. Forgive yourself. Don't berate yourself and be unkind. Your body does not respond well to that. You'll start to manifest it in shoulder pain and back pain and tummy aches and bloating and weight gain and metabolism changes and all kinds of things. You don't need that in your life because you are becoming this whoever, right? Like this other better, greater. You're already amazing. You're becoming even more when you're becoming and you're committed to that, right? Michelle Obama style. You're becoming, right? So gratitude, imagine, forgive, and then take action is the T. continue to take action, because you're only reevaluating what it is, what it looks like, if it's worth it with this gift. You are deciding on those hard days and just kind of as a normal, constant, kind of reevaluation of what's working, what isn't working. Is it worth it for you to put in this work for whatever these particular habits are that you're choosing? You want to create a better power up, a better power down routine. You're deciding to be kinder to yourself every day because maybe you noticed that you weren't really being kind to you. Kind to your body, what you put in it, what you work on it, what you put out of it, the energy you pull in from being around other people, including virtually, because that's real. Energy does not stop because we have these computers, right? It's still flowing, especially when we're on video constantly. So just be really mindful of that. So those are the ways to give yourself permission to pivot into the new you. And to go deeper into these topics and things like this, especially for next week, if you've been watching, you noticed I changed the banners on most of my profiles, if not all of them by today. I'm doing something new because I'm always trying something new as I'm also pivoting, walking my talk, not just what I teach and what I provide for my clients, but for myself as well. Always. I created something called the Boundary Foundry. I just didn't want to call it workshop, and I love like alliterations, so bear with me. But next Thursday at noon, from noon till about 1:15, so it is 75 minutes. It's a little bit longer than normal. I'm going to be doing a 75-minute foundry on how you can take the best pieces, like 3 key techniques of boundaries that will help you create a better work life and love relationship with yourself, the balance that you need. So if you are interested and you are not already in the group, all you have to do is, if you're on my Facebook profile, there's a link at the top. Click the link, fill out the questions to come in the group because we want to make sure it makes sense. The group is predominantly for married women entrepreneurs. So in that group, do you have to be legally married with a certificate? That is not how I define marriage. So no, it has to be that you're with your forever love. So if you're with your forever love, then you want to come into this group because we are talking about all things intimacy, emotional, physical, leadership intimacy, all those things constantly inside the group. And I do like these interesting like workshops and full master classes and all kinds of things throughout. So I invite you to come to the Boundary Foundry next week, but it is only being held inside the certified Facebook group. I don't know why I can't talk today. So make sure that you join us there. And if you need help, you need support, and you're not sure because you're seeing it somewhere and you don't see a link because we are going to be syndicated and putting it out, just make sure you put a note and say, I'm interested. And then someone on the team will DM you the specific link to come in. It might even be me myself. So just make sure that you do that to let us know if you're not already in there. And we also want to be able to tag you. So when I'm going live and all those things, you have all the information you need. So let me know you're interested by a wave of hand, a heart drop, anything. I'm going to come back after the replay is done, after this meeting that I have to run to make sure that I can check. And of course, if you have questions about how to give yourself permission to pivot, like why you've done certain things and it isn't working for you or with you, feel free to drop a note in the comments, or if you're bold about it, DM me. Ask me the question. I'm happy to support you, even privately. So make sure you do that to a point, of course, right? To a point. So feel free to ask me anything, really. I look forward to seeing you next Thursday inside the Certified Selfish Group, which is where these Intimacy Advantage TV shows that are every week, usually about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, that is where they're always held. It's very rare for me to come out and share this kind of information outside of it. So if you want more of that, regardless of whether or not you can make it to next Thursday's live or replay, you want to be inside the Certified Selfish Group if you are a fast scaling married woman entrepreneur. All right. I am Naketa Ren Thigpen, the #1 balance and relationship advisor in the world, not by my account, by everyone else's. I want to make sure that I see you on the other side of the moon. So let me know if you're interested, and I or someone from my team will connect with you. Talk to you soon.